Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. So back home I wanted to show you the two lipsticks I got from Charlotte Tilbury's newish Hot Lips range. If you've watched any of my previous videos talking about Charlotte Tilbury, you know I have a bit of a love-hate relationship with this brand, if that's not slightly overstating it. I suppose I really want to love it because it's a premium brand, but not quite as expensive as the kind of Tom Ford Guerlain premiums. I think she markets really, really well, but some of the formulations have been a letdown for me, as well as the kind of help you get when you go into buy at the counters. So, yeah, it's been a pretty mixed bag up till now, but I'm happy to say that with the two Hot Lips lipsticks I've purchased, I've found Charlotte Tilbury products that I can wholeheartedly get behind because I really like them so far. So, what are they? 12 new lipsticks, as usual with her wonderful marketing gimmicks. They're all named after famous actresses or models. So you're immediately kind of put in mind of a certain look, even though quite a few of the shades are actually, as I understand it, re-promotes of existing shades within her two previous ranges, which are Matte Revolution and Kissing. Now, the two shades that I picked are both from the Matte Revolution range. In other words, they're matte lipsticks, but I don't believe either of them are re-promotes. Let's talk about the packaging first of all. Cute little packages with the Hot Lips logo on. One thing I don't like is, as far as I can see, and I have looked for ages, there's no indication of the on the package of what shade you've actually bought, which must be incredibly annoying. Having said that, I've just looked now and there it is on the barcode. It's Secret Salma. So not very obvious straight away. I did spend ages trying to look for that on the top and the bottom. It wasn't there. It is on the side. The packaging of the actual lipstick fits in very much with her retro vibe in the kind of rose gold, fairly lightweight. I'm not a huge fan of the Charlotte Tilbury packaging. Some people absolutely love it. I love some of the little details she puts on the mirrors of her compacts, but other than that, I prefer kind of less fussy, sleek packaging. My favourite for lipsticks, actually, MAC lipsticks, I really like the bullet shape of those, and the Chanel kind of pop-up lipsticks, naturally, I really like. But, you know, it's quite a nice packaging. Fairly kind of standard size for a lipstick. What are you getting? 3.5. How does that compare? I don't think it actually says on these how much. The Tom Ford feels much, much heavier, and I suspect there's more product there, but I can't say that for sure. Right, so Secret Salma, one of the two that I bought. Is that Secret Salma? No, it's Kidman's Kiss. Bad start. I'll come back to that in a minute. Put them in the wrong boxes. Here we go. Here's Secret Salma. Now, this is said to be a plummy purple by Miss Tilbury on her website. I don't see it that way at all. I'd call it a mauvey pink, a deep mauvey pink. You can see straight away the very pretty engraving of the Hot Lips, which I think is unique to this range, and also the slightly unusual shaping of the lipstick with this flat square at the top to make it easier to apply. And I would agree, it definitely is easier to apply. I've worn this probably about 3 or 4 times, and it makes filling in your lips without a lip pencil much easier. I don't know how it'll wear down, of course, but it's a nice gimmick. Now, it's a fairly conservative shade, I would say, looking slightly lighter on the monitor than on my hand. And yeah, definitely a kind of maybe plummy, but I would call it a mauvey pink. It's a really pretty shade on. Now, what I would like to say about the formula is, I suppose, two things. I've heard rave reviews about how these last through eating 6-course meals. It certainly doesn't last like that on me. With a lip pencil priming underneath, it does reasonably well for, a few sips of a drink, but I mean, it comes off. That said, I haven't found any lipstick that doesn't do that. They just don't wear very long on me, but this wears averagely. What I do like about it is, although it's a matte, it's a very, very comfortable, wearable matte, both in appearance and more importantly how it feels on the lips. It doesn't feel remotely drying, which most matte lipsticks do for me. I like the Chanel Velvet range, which is a sort of matte, although they often have a little bit of a sheen on them. This one does as well, I have to say, on the lips. That formula is very nice. This is the most similar formula to that I've tried, but if anything, I find this even a little bit more comfortable to wear on the lips. And although it's giving really good colour pigmentation for the colour, which is usually the beauty of a matte lipstick, it doesn't feel remotely drying, and when it does wear off, it wears off nice and smoothly without kind of nasty patchy bits. So I am really, really impressed with the formula. I like it a lot. And that goes across the two shades that I've tried, both of which are Matte Revolution rather than the kissable ones. I believe there are 6 kissable and 6 matte, and I just happened to choose 2 matte. I went for the colour rather than the formulation. Now, I dug around in my Tom Ford drawer thinking, well, I'm bound to have something that's very similar in colour to this, and picked out 2 that are slightly similar to give you an idea, but not the same by any means. So there we can see this is Richard, a shinier formula and a bit more reddy pink. But they do look on my lips quite similar. So if you've got Richard, it's similar, and Carey, I believe one of the most popular of the Lips and Boys range, is quite similar there. Again, looking a bit more plummy and a bit more shiny, but very similar in colour tone, but definitely more shiny on the lips. Now, I love the Tom Ford Lips and Boys, and part of what I love about them are the kind of different finishes on the lips. He uses a lot of kind of sheens, glimmers, glitters to give different 3D effects. Interestingly, Charlotte Tilbury talks a lot about the 3D effect of her lipsticks on the website. I don't get that so much with this, but they do look really, really good. So the other shade that I chose, I suspect, will be a very popular one, and that's Kidman's Kiss, because it's just a very wearable, she calls it a petal pink, which I guess is fairly accurate, although I think there's a definite kind of peach in this pink. It looks a bit darker than it's coming on the monitor. Definitely a kind of peachy pink to me, with that touch of kind of lemon or coral in it. I think it's very, very similar to a very popular Tom Ford shade, Spanish Pink. Spanish Pink looks much lighter in the bullet, but you can see they're definitely in the same ballpark. And so it's not surprising I like this one, because Spanish Pink is one of my most worn lipsticks. You can see I've actually made quite a lot of progress with it, which is unusual for me. So if you've got Spanish Pink in Tom Ford, very, very similar. The other one that I picked out in my Tom Fords is Addison. Again, I think one of the popular ones. Addison is definitely more shimmery and a little bit cooler, but in the same sort of range. Now, I was interested to see how the formula compared with the extremely expensive Louboutin. Now, I only have 2 of these currently. They're rather annoying because I can't see the name on them, but I believe this was Trade Décolleté, which is in the silky satin range, not the matte, so different formulation. And you can see quite a similar colour. I definitely prefer the Kidman's Kiss, both for the feel. It definitely feels like a superior product on the lip, on the mouth. And the longevity is slightly better. Now, they're not the same formulation. This is not a matte, so it's not a truly one-for-one comparison. The only matte that I've got in the Louboutin range is this one, which is definitely a lot more of a bricky nude. But again, this feels much more dry on the lips. And indeed, even in the bullet, although I haven't had it that long, the lipstick seems to be drying out. Of course, I've only had these Tilbury ones a few days, but I would say the Tilbury formulation is definitely superior, in my opinion, to Louboutin, and of course it's a lot cheaper. It's very similar in quality to the Tom Ford, but particularly if you're looking for a matte, I do think it's a really nice finish. So pretty much from me, an unqualified thumbs up for a horrible thumb there, but what can you do, for a Charlotte Tilbury product. I think I will definitely go back and perhaps buy a couple of the slightly more ambitious colours in the orange and red range, because I'm keen to try those out in the Matte Revolution formula. And until next time, bye for now.